What's up, everybody? Hope you're well. In a few of my previous videos, I talked about minor 7 flat 5 chords and half diminished chords, and I said that they're not the same, even though they're similar and they share a lot of qualities. And I got a lot of gripe about it and quite a few questions. And to be totally honest, I just avoided the topic because I didn't want to dive too deep into it. But I'm ready to deal, so let's dive into it. First of all, let's talk about minor 7 flat 5 chords, right? What are they? Where do they come from? If you take the major scale, let's go to C, and let's play C through the modes, right? So like C Ionian, D Dorian, E Phrygian. I don't want to go through the major scale modal stuff. There's tons of info out there, but basically look it up if you're not well versed in it, and you will get up to B natural ultimately, which is B Locrian, right? And you get this B minor 7 flat 5 chord. That's just how it stacks up in the scale. And you know, you get your one. If you don't think about it as C with a B and a bass, but you actually play it within that B Locrian world, you get 1 flat 9, right, or flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5, so on and so forth. But that flat 9 is the biggest difference. And I'm going to get back to that. It has to do with avoid notes. So this is where you get your minor 7 flat 5 chords. Now, if we talk about half diminished chords, there's two ways of of getting a half diminished chord. Both are valid. One, again, the way I was taught this is one is from the diminished chord. If you take a B fully diminished, right, a B diminished 7, because it's built in thirds, right? B, D, F, A flat, then back to B. Because it's built in thirds, even though it's called the B diminished 7, that 7th degree, that A flat, is actually a double flat 7, which is really a 6th. So a lot of people would bring that up a half step to make it a 7, and that's how we ended up with the half diminished chords. Now, why is it called half diminished? Because that A natural is not technically in the diminished scale, because we have, it's an A flat, right, in a whole half, which is what most diminished scales are. Sorry, you wouldn't have that. You would, right? So once you bring it up to that half step, it becomes half diminished. Now, that's one way that I was taught that the half diminished tonality came from. The way I much prefer to look at it is through the melodic minor. If you take, let's keep it on that B chord. So if you take D melodic minor, the 6th degree, right? If we take D melodic minor and we just go down the scale diatonically, you end up on this shape. Through this voicing, if you just take it down, you end up here, which is the same shape we get from the minor, from the C major mode. I hope I'm not confusing. I promise I'm going to try to clarify this as best I could. But if you're coming from that D minor major, right, from this tonality, if you take it down to the 6th degree, you end up on D, on this B half diminished. The difference is in C, if you're coming from C major, you get that C natural. Because we're in D melodic minor now, there is no C natural on that scale. It's a C sharp, right? So you get, now why does that make a difference? This has to do with avoid notes. What are avoid notes? Okay, if you play a C major scale, right? If we spell it out, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? Take F, for example. It's in the scale, right? If I play an F chord, an F, single note, if I just play the note F against a C major chord, even though it's in the scale, it's just a terrible sound to me. Let's not say terrible, but it's a very, to my ears, I don't like it, and most people don't like it, which is why it's called an avoid note or a passing note, right? To have that third and also have not a pretty, it doesn't stack up nicely. Anyway, I hope you're hearing that the same way I am, or not. And the same thing applies to the B minor 7 flat 5 if it's derived from the C major scale. So for example, if I play this and I put that flat 9th on it, which we get from the major scale, to me that's a terrible sound, right? It's kind of odd to voice. It's not pretty. But if you go from the melodic minor scale, right, from the D melodic minor scale, and you play the 6th degree of it, which again is that B, there is no C in melodic minor. You get C sharp. Now to me, that's a beautiful sound. The thing is, in melodic minor, right, if you put a B in a bass, like if you look at this voicing, for example, right, I'm playing F, which is the 3rd of D, right, because that's our quote-unquote home scale that we're getting that B half diminished from. We're starting on D melodic minor. So if I'm playing F, right, that's my minor 3rd from D, A, which is the 5th of D, C sharp, that's our major 7th, that's why it's melodic minor, and then E, which is the 9th. This is a very standard melodic minor voicing. Now the beauty of it, because there are no avoid notes, I can put anything in the bass and I get all these different qualities. Like for example, take this voicing, again with a D in a bass, it's just D minor major, but let's put like G in a bass. Now I got that Lydian dominant sound. I didn't change my voicing, right? I didn't change anything. Put F in the bass, sorry. Get that Lydian augmented sound, put, I don't know, C sharp in the bass. I get my C altered. Notice it's the same shell, right? Or some people will voice it like this, right? Like one finger per fret per string. Put C in a bass, G in a bass. You can do all kinds of stuff, but because again, it's a melodic minor, there are no avoid notes. There's no notes that sound weird against other chords. And what that enables you to do, like I just showed, is to put different things in the bass against the same voicing, and you don't really have to move stuff around. So, as it applies to like a 2-5-1, for example, you can take, like let's talk about that other voicing that I just showed you. It's really the same voicing, just in a different string set. But let's say we're going, like, let's say we're doing a 2-5-1 into G minor, a minor 2-5-1 into G minor. So A minor 7 flat 5, D altered, G minor, right? If we look at that A minor 7 flat 5 as an A half diminished, now this would be the 6th degree of C minor, C melodic minor. So let's play a C melodic minor voicing, or just melodic minor shape. Put A in a bass, right? Now that's my 2 chord. Now if I take the bass and bring it up to D for our 5, and just take this shape and move it up a minor 3rd. That's my 5 altered. Didn't change anything, just moved stuff around. Now put G in a bass for my 1 and move up this shape, another minor 3rd. Put G in a bass, now I got that minor major chord. So instead of playing, I'm going, it's still a 2-5-1, and that also applies to single lines. So I can go, yeah, or you know, let's not do that. Let's do it like this. Let's do it. Right, that's my half diminished. Well, let's just pick one. Sorry, I don't mean to confuse. Let's pick one line and move it minor 3rds and watch how it works over a 2-5-1. Right, and I go here, and I go right over that D altered, and I go to G minor, and I go, and I just took one line. And obviously you don't want to play like patterns just all the time. You want to make it sound like music. But the idea is that when you think about that minor 7 flat 5 as a half diminished coming from the melodic minor, it opens up your voicing to all kinds of stuff because of the lack of avoid notes. I hope that's clear and doesn't further confuse. Hit me up, keep hitting me up with questions. I'm here to help. Yeah, thank you all. I really do appreciate it. Later.